My name is Leonardo. I am a software engineer, front-end developer more specifically, and today I will be doing the challenge from Full Stack Labs. So first of all, I would like to thank for this opportunity, and well, I have here the instructions on GitHub. So it's um, it's a repo, and well, uh, let's see the instructions for that. The current application is displaying a list of nodes. Don't worry about what nodes or blocks are, just know that a node has many blocks, and each node represents a server. Each server implements the same API but returns different data. Important endpoints we'll need to know for each server are status and blocks. Okay, each node has many blocks, and the blocks for each node are returned from the blocks endpoint. So currently the application is getting the status for each node and updating the state. We would like you to retrieve the blocks from the endpoint, place them in the state, and render them into a list that matches the design. Okay, I do have the Figma open here. It's the design that they want me to copy. Um, Also, I have already tested the endpoints, so it seems to be working. Let's just refresh the page here, make sure. Yeah, it's working. Um, okay. All right. Let's clone this repository. Uh, Copied. Now let's open a new VS Code. New window. Open. Terminal. New terminal. And let's git clone the repo, which is right here, paste it. I've already downloaded it, but let's see, what can I do? Let's go to a different path. So, all right, let's start from here. All right, Angular. All right, we'll start the project from my desktop just to make sure I have a new one. So git clone project. All right, so following the instructions, what do we have here? Right here. We have yarn install and yarn start. Now let's get inside the base, the folder actually. So cd toy blocks and yarn install. Let's make sure we get all the dependencies. Okay. Might take a few minutes just to install everything it needs. Fetching packages. So that's pretty much the application. There's nodes, the services, the status. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just wait a little bit more. All right, we're done here. So now all the dependencies have been installed. We have the node modules folder. I'm just going to clear it and run in a specific port. Run start yarn start port 4300. Okay. It's building. All right, successfully built, compiled. Now let's see how it looks like. There we are. So we have nodes and blocks should go here. I don't have to worry about what it is, but apparently I was supposed to make them appear here. Let's take a look at the Figma. Yeah, that's right. So, alright, let's get started. Let me just minimize it so you can see the whole screen. First thing I would do is get in the Figma the font the original font that they're using here. So so apparently it's using Robo 2 as a font for all the typography, right? So yeah, pretty much Robo 2. Yeah, as you can see here, font family is Robo 2 for all of texts available in this project. So just make sure I have the Robo 2 oops, true font CSS. That's pretty much what the yeah, just want to get the link here. All right, it's a third-party source. This link. I'll get this one here. It should probably work. Google APIs. So I want to go to the HTML file. Make sure I import the right font as used in Figma. Saving it. Now, if we take a look at Figma again, they have some color styles here, global color styles, I would say. So I'll make sure I have all of them in a variable as well. Let's go to let's see, assets, style sheets, and they have colors here as variables for global colors. So we have primary color here. Just copy and paste in primary color. It's a little bit different than the previous one. Okay. We have light colors, so copy and paste this too. Light color. They don't have here, so just create a new one. Light color. Alright, it's the same one as this, so I'm gonna get rid of white color. We have dark color as well. Just make sure copy and paste it. Dark color, we don't have it, so dark color. Icons color. didn't have it, so create a new variable. Icons, color, background gray. Background gray. Alright. Then disabled, but yeah. Dark effects. This is probably for the card div. Okay. Make sure we have all the colors available. Light color icons, dark, background, and gray. Alright, now let's set in our style some global variables as well. We have the font is Rowboat 2, so I don't think we're going to be using all of that. Alright, this is our new font style. It's normal. And I think the background, let's see, it's a different color as well. Alright. So as a background, should be like this color. And let's see how it looks now. Okay. Let's change the background colors. Now I'll make sure it has what's that looks in mobile. Yeah, just make sure it has the padding. So padding would say 1 REM. Alright, that looks good. Now they have a just gonna close this tab. Let's take a look at this H1 maybe text here. So as an H1, yeah, it's probably an H1. As a main text, I would say main title. So I'll just probably copy the font weight, font size, line height, letter spacing, and the color, because the font family font style is going to be the same for all of them, if I'm not wrong. So I'll just make sure I have it here. Alright, compiled successfully. And this node, where is it? It's probably maybe here. Well, not actually. I think there's something wrong with my VS Code. Oh, there he is. You have a nodes here as an H1, so yep. All right. Next thing I want to do is we're going to take a look at what the instruction says. So we would like you to retrieve the blocks from the endpoints, place them in a state, and render them into a list that matches the design. Alright, so here is one of the endpoints working. So apparently they return a JSON with data, and the data is an array of blocks. And each block object has an ID, type, and some attributes: index, timestamp, data, purpose hash, and hash. I don't think I'll be using all of this information, but I'm supposed to return them and put them in the state. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm supposed to do. So if I'm gonna need blocks, I will probably set them inside of a node, because each node has many blocks, so it would make sense to have a block inside of a node. Alright, so they probably do have the models here. What is happening here? I think it's just something that has to do with the VS Code. So models. Alright, we have nodes, which is a list of node, and we have a node here. So every node has blocks. I won't set as mandatory, but I know that every node has blocks, and I'll probably put them in a different interface as well. So it's going to be an array of this block here. So I'll just create a new file, which is going to be block model.ts. Alright, so what I want here is I want to export an interface of block, and it has, let's see it again, ID, which is a string. It has a type, which is also a string. It has attributes, and attributes is probably another interface. So attributes. Oops, no. All right, attributes. So I'll probably create a new file here. And it's, I want to, it's attributes models. Attributes dot model dot ts. In here, I want to export the interface. Attributes. And every attribute has an index, which is probably a number. It has a timestamp, right, which is probably a date. We have also data, which will be a string as well. We have previous hash. Oops, P here, previous hash, which is also a string. And then we have hash, which is always a string. Oh yeah, for sure. There's a dash in the middle, so I should probably put it in quotes. Okay, now I have attributes. So going back to the block, the attributes can be importable, and also the block I can import from the model. All right. Okay. Well, I do have now my models. Now let's work on the service, I would say, that actually retrieves. So this is it, the API services, which has get, post, put, delete, patch from the HTTP client library. And node store, it has a get status. Well, let's see how it works first. All right, so we have a node, and for each node, they are setting asynchronously store states. So everything they do is just call store get status, the on init. So let's get back to it. They have a get status function here, which gets it maps the state. Let's see, what is the state? Can't value from as observable, so they probably have a state. Yeah, here it is. There's a list of node, and it has URL online name loading for each object inside of this node state. This is just the initial state, and once they get it from this API here endpoint, so API v1 status, and once it gets it, if there's an error, it's probably gonna return an observable of node name false, and if it does succeed, they map at this data, the structured data here, and return a copy of each node that we just saw with the name of this return value. It makes sure that the node name is a boolean, and loading, of course, is going to be false. And then fork joins the status, so it waits until this observable completes and returns the array, pretty much. And then set state as a copy of the result here, the value, got from here. Okay, so let's make sure that this status works as well. It does, and it gets only a node name, but I need to include the blocks inside of that node. I wonder what kind of content is that, but there's a number here, so I would assume it's the ID, and about the text I'm not sure, but I would assume it's the data, maybe. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is I need to return data from another endpoint and set them in the same status. So make sure it happens. I can use merge map because I want to make sure that it doesn't cancel our previous HTTP requests. So for each HTTP request, I want to make sure that it gets another HTTP request. So for each status, we get a block and we set them. All right, so probably after this off here, I'll use a merge map from RxJS. I'll make sure it imports from the RxJS operators. And what we get here is a response from the status, which is node name. So I'll just keep the same here. This structured data, just a node name here. Now I'll get into the inside of the function. Now what I want is to return the result of this API get we'll get the same node URL because it's coming from the node state, so it's the same request. I mean the same variable for the endpoint. It's API v1, but not status. This is blocks. Right, just as we can see here. So it's the same path, API v1 pretty much, and then at the end of it's just blocks. So I'll just pipe it so we can do other stuff inside of it. Oops, pipe. And since it's in fork join, I want to make sure if something bad happens, it doesn't return anything. So I'll just do the same as up here. So I'll just catch the error and return an observable of not node name but data, and it's gonna be, I would say, null. So it's gonna return an observable of data, and it's null. All right, now since we have the catcher, I'm just gonna map it and do pretty much the same thing here. So I can just, well, actually, we can just copy it from here, because yep, and then make sure it's mapping here. So inside of this map, it's not node name anymore because I'm returning data. So I'll get it, the structured data. And finally, I'm going to return the same thing as before, the copy of this object status. The name is going to be from the return API online. If there's something, it's going to return true. If not, false. Loading is going to be false. Also, I want to include here blocks, as you can see in my model, and that will be the data that we got as a response of the specific endpoint here. Okay, now I just want to make sure everything is pretty much settled up here. I think it's missing, there's something missing here. Nope. So it's closes here. All right, let's just put it in the line. Maybe I think there's, yeah, this one here is missing from the merge map. All right, now it's supposed to be working. All right, let's see where exactly they're using it. So pretty much it gets the status, and they're using it as store state synchronous here. node blocks. So the nodes are here. It's an input to app node item, which is probably an item here. And let's see here. So we get from node. So I just want to make sure I do have its node. So let's just implement a onInit. Here implements onInit. Oops, the TypeScript here. And ng on init. All right, make sure I include that from Angular Core. So is that right? Image on init. Yeah. Oh, the I is capitalized. Okay. Yeah, for sure. All right. Now I'm gonna console log here. Oops. Make sure that I'm getting the data. All right. I'm gonna inspect that. So in my console here we have, as you can see, loading name online URL. But oh, here it is. The blocks are here. Yep. Yep. Now they have been included, and I'm getting the data that I wanted to. All right. Okay. We're not going to need this. Actually, I just want to make sure that I'm getting the data. So I'll just make sure I'll save it. I'm probably just going to include a new input here, so I can use that. So this new input's going to be it's called the blocks, and it'll be a block from the model that I have, but in an array of it. I'll be using this array. So save it, and from his father element is nodes component HTML. Just want to make sure that I pass him here as well. So that'll be blocks. That's the name I gave it, and then it is node dot blocks. All right. Now let's see. Let's go to the HTML. I'll just open it up again, so I'll make sure this is not an error. It's just probably the VS Code. So I'm just gonna close it and open it up back again. Okay. start port for 1300. Oh, let's make sure I'm inside of toy. All right. Okay, so it has a loading, online state, expander, button. All right, so here we have a div with the expanded and where the blocks should go. So I should probably separate in a div. So yeah, I'll just create a new div here and just make sure that if if it's expanded, I want to make sure it only appears when expanded, just like here. So if it's expanded, we're gonna have this guy here. Let's just cut it, paste it. We don't need these here anymore. And the blocks go here. So this will be NG4. So for each let block of node blocks, or yeah, node blocks, yeah, so for each block of node blocks, I'll get a div here. So probably it's just an ID in the text. So just given a class here, maybe I can do some CSS coding. Block ID, and this is gonna be a span of interpolation block ID. And what else we got here? The block text. I'll just give a class name as a block text, and I'll have a span here as well. Oops. And that'll be an interpolation of this block, and it's inside of attributes if I'm not wrong. Oops. Yeah, attributes data. So attributes data. All right. Yeah. Okay. It's giving me the same error here. I don't know why, but let's just continue. So for each block, we have an ID and data coming from the new API, right? That's what we get here. It's not, it's the same result as the Figma, but we have the data pretty much. All right, so it's this body here. The node URL. um, let's see the body here. Article, they have URL MT5. Yeah, I'll just give a node URL. I don't think it's going to be necessary, just toolbar, and yeah, I'll go to the CSS files. All right, we have a wrapper, and the wrapper, it's gonna have a margin, padding, background. All right, so this is our wrapper here. So they have a background and border radius. Yeah, I'll just make sure you have same background and same border radius here. Let's see, margin. Yeah, I'll make it like 12 here, maybe. Okay. Yeah. So there's also a box shadow here. I think the box shadow, yeah, pretty much this. I'll make sure it's in my wrapper too. All right, now there's some padding. Let's see a closed one. It's like 20 and 14 for each side, pretty much. So just make sure a padding, they are very similar to the Figma. Let's say 14 pixels, 20 pixels, 14 pixels, and 20 pixels from the sides, top, bottom. We don't need this border. There's no border. Of course, we need the margin, padding, background, border radius, and box shadow. Let's see how it looks. Yeah. All right, now it looks good. Very similar to the Figma. Let's go for the name. The name of it is just let's see here. What's the name? The name is what's returning here as Secret Lowlands and Calm Anchorage. I don't know. It's a different color too. It's a dark color. Margin, line height, everything pretty much different. So get the name right. Yeah, I'll get the font weight, the font size, the line height, the letter spacing, the color, and I'll make sure the margin is also the same as the Figma. Alright, so I'm gonna just get rid of it. Font weight, font size, line height, letter spacing. It's dark color, so I can use I can pretty much use my variables that I created in the beginning. So dark color. Oops, it's like this, dark color. Font weight is like 400 actually. Close to this. I'll make sure it has some margin as well. So margin 0 pixels. There's no margin. Let's see how it looks now. Okay, well, it's a little bit thicker, but there might be some differences. Let's just put it font size 16, line height. Yeah, just make sure it's pretty much the same. Font weight normal. Yeah, alright. Okay, you have also the URL in Figma here. They have some color, font weight, font size, everything. Display, coloring, opacity. So just make sure I copy this and I paste them here in the URL. So we have color. Color is dark color. I mean, not really. It's yeah, it's dark color, but it has opacity. Yeah, for sure. So I can use the same here. Dark color, opacity, font weight. I think it was 400. Font size, line height, display, letter spacing. All right, let's just follow the Figma properties here. All right, and see how it looks now. Okay. All right. So we have before. Let's see. Yeah, we have this kind of signal here. I don't think we're gonna need this, so just get rid of all this here code, extra code here. We're not gonna need it. Just comment that out. Okay. What else? So blocks wrapper. Pretty much, we need a margin, font weight, background, everything. It's totally different from here. So yeah, this has yeah, just as I tested before, so we're gonna need a 4 pixel 0, font weight is 700, and all right, let's make sure it's background is RGB 0.12. Border radius 2 pixels. Padding will be 8 pixels. And then we have a block ID that I gave the name. The block ID is going to be this one, this guy here. So I'll probably just copy and paste here everything. So font style, I want to make sure I display the flex, so I give some directions. I want to justify content as start, the beginning of it. The font style is normal, font weight, it's bold. Font size is 10 pixels. Line height is 16. Letter spacing 1.5. Text transformation. The color here is actually primary color. So we can use that as well. So yeah, just make sure. All right. Okay. Let's see how it looks. All right. I'm not sure if it got the right color here. Base colors. Base colors. Just make sure that it has some or base colors again, style sheet, yeah. So primary color. Yeah, it's primary color pretty much. Block ID, let's make sure it's inside block ID. Alright, I'm gonna have to stop for a few minutes, but now we have these node CSS complete. Now all we need is the status CSS, also the icon that's going to expand the blocks. So let's go through the HTML. Alright, I'm not gonna need this button anymore, so I'm just comment that out. Instead, we'll get a span, and I'll just give some margin left, like 1 rem is good. And then the click button will be the same here. I'll just copy and paste it. And then inside, we're gonna have a icon, and this ng class. So every time it's open, it's going to be one icon, and every time it closes, it's going to be another icon. We have, if it's expanded, we're going to have FAS, FA, chevron down. So I'm going to using font awesome, and if not, I'm just going to use the same but up. Alright, so up. Alright, chevron up. Okay, now I'll just make sure I have font awesome in my project. I'll just get from another project here. This font awesome here. Let's go to the index HTML. Let's put it that way here. Alright, now let's see how it looks. Okay, looking good. Last but not least, the status. So take a look at the status HTML first. Yeah, just make sure I have a light before. So span, I'll give this the name as a light, and yep. So for light, we have, let's see here in the wrapper. Alright, I'll just make sure in the success we get the same as Figma says. So line height, font family, and everything I'll get from here. So I'm just gonna copy and paste it. Oops. Okay. So now we have pretty much the color is a dark color, so I can just use this. And yep, now we need the light. And for this, I'll just use Figma as well. I have it here. Probably going to use the width and height. So we have width and height of 6 pixels. I don't need top and left. Just need the color. And yeah, I'll keep everything else here. Let's see how it looks now. Alright. Oh, it need a border radius for sure. Give 6 pixels as well. Okay, looking good. Now, not sure about this font here. Just make sure we're using the font as Robo 2. And font family, style normal. Offset is important. Alright. Now we also need the danger. So the danger is pretty much the same as in Figma as well. We just copy everything here using danger. So we're not going to need this position, top and left, just the width and height. Background, inside of layout. Margin warning. The font family is important too, I think. Yeah, just copy and paste this for all of them. Just make sure we have the same font as in danger too. We're also going to need the light, which is going to be the same thing but in a different color for sure. The color is this color here. Oh, we actually we don't need this background. Nope. Just for the light. Let's see how it looks. Alright. Margin. the danger and the light of danger is pretty much just for the CSS. Now let's see the final result. It's looking good. Obviously the font size or the thickness of the text might differ a little bit, but I'm using the same properties, so that's pretty much it. Okay, I'll be uploading and posting everything. I hope I have delivered what was asked for. And again, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'll be see you soon.